Among the dozens of politicians' photographs that line the walls of the Occidental like most wanted posters at the post office, I spotted a young Harry Truman, an old Arthur Vandenberg, and an ageless Richard Nixon. I swung my eyes around to inspect the denizens of the other tables, all men in navy or gray. For all I knew, any one of them could be a senator or congressman or Supreme Court justice. Wait. A woman in a double-breasted red jacket was lifting a fork at a table at the other end of the dining hall. She looked familiar. Well, she sure wasn't a senator. She was 3 decades too young to be Margaret Chase Smith. It would come to me. In the meantime, her presence only accentuated the middle-aged masculinity of the room. I looked down at my watch. In seconds, the minute hand would hit the 9 and my deadline of 12:45 would be reached. I wasn't anxious to go back to report to the White House that I hadn't seen Volkov. I turned back and checked the Maitre D's station for a sign of him. I took a long pull on my iced tea and stared at a man's face made familiar by the television news. Who was it? The fingers of my memory were about to grasp the answer when I caught a familiar whiff of cologne, hair oil, and cigars. I was enfolded from behind in a Russian bear hug, and my ears were accosted by a mighty roar of, "Nathan!" While I couldn't see Volkov myself, I watched the miscellany of congressmen and assistant secretaries turn their heads our way. Who would have thought a spy would want so much attention? Well, maybe he reckoned naked was the best disguise. When Volkov's arms loosened for a moment, I turned to face him. His greased hair was thinner, his face more florid, his stomach more protuberant. If anything, he looked more Volkov than ever. "I would say you look great, but I remember what your late father used to say," he said. Volkov grabbed my cheeks between his meaty paws and gave me a sloppy kiss perilously close to my lips. He excused himself by saying, "We Russians are too sentimental," and then he went on, "You must miss your old tits, your father." Every day. Me as well. Those were great days before the war. 22 years after our last meal together, Volkov and I settled down for lunch. I was telling him about the twins when he held his hand up like a traffic cop. "Wait. Come." He raised himself from his chair and started wending his way between the tables, a Mack truck on a twisty country lane. There was nothing for it but to follow. He shook a hand about every other table. How could he be a spy if everyone knew him after such a short time in town? He pulled up in front of the very table where the crimson-suited woman sat. It was her turn to be engulfed in the arms of the Russian bear. "Nancy!" he roared this time. The first name, along with a closer look, revealed the woman to be the chic Nancy Dickerson, who reported for CBS. "Nancy, I would like for you to meet my old friend Nathan Michaels." The reporter wriggled out of Volkov's hold and offered her hand. "Mrs. Dickerson, I am a fan," I said. She introduced us to her lunch companion, Harold, I didn't catch his last name, from the Norwegian embassy. "And what do you do in this town, Mr. Michaels?" she asked me out of common courtesy. "I'm visiting from California." "Mr. Michaels is a school friend of President Kennedy," Volkov added. "Is that right? Enjoy your stay, Mr. Michaels. And you, Maxim, enjoy your lunch." The humorous lilt in her voice told me she'd seen Volkov sit down for a meal before. Back at our table, I asked Volkov why he'd summoned me. He reached across and touched my hand. "My friend, we have not seen each other since before Great Patriotic War. It is good to see you. That should be enough." "It is." "Good. First food and drink, then business. I want to hear about your boys. They are wonderful, I am sure." "They are. Do you have a family, Maxim?" I asked. No time," he said and sighed with regret. Whether genuine or feigned, I had no idea.